Hello. Well, what are you doing here in my storage unit? Really? Well, you were just passing by, but you'd like to hear a story? Oh, I'm so glad. I'd love to tell stories, and this is a perfect place to tell stories from, because there's so many things around me that remind me of memories that I have that I love to share. So yeah, come on in. Definitely come on in and sit down. Absolutely. See if you can find a place to sit. Let's see. What story shall I tell you? Something I just ran into just a few minutes ago. Yeah. So, as I like to start all my stories, once upon a time, a long, long time ago. So this story I'm going to tell you, once upon a time, a long, long time ago, I celebrated the pagan feasts. Yes, I did. I celebrated Christmas and Easter and all those. I never celebrated Halloween. I hated that holiday, but I did celebrate Christmas. Some with a vengeance, actually. And I just ran into in my storage unit, into 2 Christmas CDs. Oh, that I had forgotten. I forgotten I had to get, and I got to get rid of them. Because I got rid of everything that I had once got for Christmas, right? But you know what this reminds me of? Yes, it reminds me of a little story that after, it happened when we were at the teepee, but it was long after we let go of Christmas, that we said goodbye to Christmas. And we actually got sick to our stomach when we thought, oh man, that we had ever celebrated Christmas to begin with. But we cleaned up our life really fast and hard and got rid of everything. Obviously, I forgot I had a couple here to deal with. But one time at the teepee, we were so, you want to say, cleaned up from the pagan rhythm that all we were living in was Papa's rhythm. So I was so far removed from society that I barely remembered what day it was according to the pagan calendar. So like, for instance, we were on food stamps at the time, and the first of the month would come, and I'd be like, oh yes, it's the first of the month, the Rosh Chodesh, I cannot wait to get more food stamp money on my card. And I would go to town and go get my food, get in line, and go to use the card, and there's nothing there. And I had totally forgotten that the pagan months, January, February, March, April, May, and Yah's month, Aviv 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, blah, 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 aren't the same. And so I would be like I was all in Papa's timing. And so one of the stories, this story I want to tell you, is about Christmas, because on December 25th, I was so done with counting those days and remembering those days that I totally forgot one day. We were at the teepee, and I really wanted some milk for what I was baking and cooking, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the nearest town and get some milk. And so Hadassah and I got in the car, and I drove about probably half an hour out of the mountains into the nearest town to get milk, not realizing that it was December 25th, and every store was closed except one small gas station that had a little bit of a mini mart. And you know me, I'm a big organic girl. I was so desperate for milk. I went to this gas station, and had a little fridge, little mini mart, and it had a little bit of milk. And I went and bought milk at a gas station, and I could not believe that the whole town shut down for this one day, as if it was a holy day, as if it was anything worth anything. And I remembered the ways of my youth, and again just cried and said, Papa, I am so sorry that I ever did, and now I don't. And I was so clean up at the mountain to not even know what day it was. I just find that a really cool story. I think in the end, this is the way we're going to get, is that we're going to be so far gone from pagan ways, and we're going to be in the land, and its rhythm and cycle is going to be just so much better, so much cleaner. So yes, so there is a way, you get removed long enough and you get taken to the wilderness long enough that you can actually forget the pagan days. And you can show up when all the stores are closed and you'll be like, oh, I totally didn't know that this was the pagan day, and darn, right? But no, I got my milk anyway. So there's my little story. So yeah, I guess I'm going to have to figure out what to do with these, right? I will deal with them. I take off of a lot of these CDs, I take an Advent music and moved it to Sukkot, because there's some really great music here about the birth of our King, our Messiah. So I take that, and now my girls associate all that music, the Advent music, with Sukkot, not Christmas. Well, thank you for coming and listening to my little story, and I kind of rambled, but thank you, and I hope to see you again. And as I like to end all my stories, and they lived happily ever after. And yes, you repent, you turn from the pagan holy days, and you get onto that narrow path. Yeah, and you will live happily ever after. Super awesome. Bye-bye. Come again, okay?